Hi, Jen here. So we all have those moments that as a mom we're not really proud of, but that end up being pretty funny later. And so if you're familiar with Jimmy Fallon and The Tonight Show and his hashtags, this is my hashtag mom fail. So I wanted to see what some of the other moms in the group, some of their funny stories from the past are. So hope you enjoy.
Great moments in momhood. My goodness, we were camping in Yosemite, sleeping out on the ground, no tent, in sleeping bags. So my two sons were pretty young, and I was really thoughtful about the fact that wild bears could come and eat us in the night. So one of the things you do is you wash yourself really carefully so you don't have food, and little boys, food everywhere. So I carefully in the dark, washed them down, got them all cleaned up, put them to bed, got them all in there, snug in their sleeping bags, went back to kind of pick up the camp and realized I had washed them in the water I cooked the ravioli in. I had made my kids into bear bait.
My mom fail was when Chase was about 4 or 5 months old. He was laying next to me asleep, and I was texting on my phone, and it fell out of my hand and smacked him in the face. A bit of a rude awakening.
Okay, my biggest mom fail had to be when my son had kind of an eye infection or maybe allergy eyes. I don't know. I self-diagnosed, but I used his prescription drops, but they were ear drops and not eye drops.
Go ahead.
I would have to say my best failed mom moment was leaving my newborn with my husband for the day. I thought it was going to be a nice treat to go out and go shopping with my mom and have lunch, and left the house about 8 o'clock in the morning. I fed Bella, put her in the swing that went just back and forth, and she loved it. She quickly, I'm sure, fell asleep. But 8 hours later, when I came home and asked how she did, he said, "Well, she did great." And I said, "Well, has she cried much?" "No." How much have you fed her to eat, or when was the last time you fed her to eat? And he said, "Well, what time did you leave this morning?" And I said, "Well, about 8 o'clock. And he proceeded to tell me that that was the last time she ate. In fact, that was the last time he really paid any attention to her, was when I put her in the swing. So long story short, she was swinging for 8 hours. And so to this day, 15 years old, I tell her that's why she's always so confused about things, is because Daddy rocked her for 8 hours straight in that swing that day.
It's funny how we think we're protecting our kids. On the way to kindergarten one morning, we hit a squirrel, and Ryan heard the sound but didn't know what it was, so I told her we must have run over a pine cone. Years later, I told her what actually happened, and she's never let me forget it.